lot of still poring over the data, and I was too tired and busy today to do what I normally do on the Thursday after election day, which is spend a lot of time with the election results and the exit polls, trying to get a good feel for what happened and how that fits into historical context. President Trump did worse in the battleground states than he did in the other states in terms of compared to last time. And people are making a big deal about that in various ways. We can talk about it, but I still believe that Democrats shouldn't overreact, and they shouldn't be more negative about this result than they might. But I don't think the people on social media and on cable who are minimizing the meaning of winning the popular vote and winning the number of electoral votes he did by saying it was so close, or he didn't win any blue states. I think those people are not focused on what they might be. The debate about the Democratic Party right now is about too much emphasis on social issues, not enough emphasis on economics and economic populism. And those debates are important, but I continue to believe that without a strong top of the ticket DNC chair, congressional leaders, politics is about personality, and they're going to need those people, even as they grapple to figure out where they were off in terms of their message and their emphasis. There's one strand that started to come out of the explainers, and as I've said this morning, there's two ways you can think about what went wrong for the Democrats. One is the tactics and strategy. The field operation didn't work. The ads weren't good. They couldn't settle on a message. Joe Biden stayed in too long. All those things are going to be much discussed, and they certainly can contribute to what happened. But the bigger thing is the question of what did the voters want? What was the majority of the electorate looking for in a president, and how did the Democrats fail to deliver there? We know that, as I talked about before, on the one hand, Kamala Harris was huge headwind, wrong track number, the economy, inflation, the border. Donald Trump had big headwinds too, convicted felon, and so many tens of millions of Americans saying they'd never vote for him under any circumstances, certain aspects of his record, January 6th, et cetera. So both those had headwinds. There's now a line of argument that comes from some Democrats. She couldn't win. It was an impossible race to win. Okay. I think that's a very dangerous argument to make. And I'll say, which gets almost no attention, but I really do think it's important. If there was no way for her to win, she shouldn't have sought the nomination. She should have had the ability, along with her advisors, to size up the landscape and say, I shouldn't try to be the nominee because my evaluation is there's no way I could have won. And there's nothing about the data that would say there was no way she could win that was not on offer when she decided to seek the nomination. Nothing different happened. In fact, I would argue that on the economy, on the Middle East, on the border, things were actually better, at least in terms of stats and kind of big picture, than they were when she took over. So I kind of project that argument as nonsensical, the notion that nothing she could have done, that she ran a great campaign and she couldn't win. She didn't run a great campaign by every measure. By some measures, she and her team were miraculous. One of the most extraordinary achievements in American political history, as far as I'm concerned, taking over someone else's campaign with just a few months to go. But just on her answer on The View alone, not knowing what she was going to say effectively when she's asked, how do you differ from Joe Biden? Just that alone, I don't think people should be going overboard and praising her.